Nice job.
Want to be an action hero in a film? I ask this question because Action Hero gives you that chance. And this one feels oh so familiar to something else.
But with a fresh lick of paint.
Huh?
And as I always say, no need to subscribe and like this video right now. Wait a little bit, take on the oaky aromatic textures of this channel.
And like and subscribe a little bit later.
And so, Action Hero.
You play as the action hero in different action movies. They do say different is a spice of life, or something like that. And basically sort of taking direction from the director as you get flung into some pretty decent set pieces, decent action sequences. So how do these action sequences unfold, I hear you cry? What he said? Well, basically if you're a fan of Super Hot, then you'll already know how this works out, as it's got a very similar mechanic. When I say similar, I actually mean pretty well the same mechanic.
When you move, time moves.
And when you stop moving and stay still, time stops moving.
And within this mechanic, you will be using weapons, guns, grenades, machine guns, and various other ranged weapons. But you can also use melee weapons as well, like a ratchet spanner and things like that. Or indeed, if you run out of ammo, the actual gun you're holding. Although I will say, if you're throwing your weapons, sometimes it kind of feels a bit hit and miss whether it goes in the direction you want it to go in. Each movie sequence has different levels within it, and each level needs completing to move on to the next stage. On the final level, there's always some sort of different boss or something to fight. And I will say that apart from moving on to the next level, there are no saves within those individual levels. So if you don't complete it all within one run, you have to go back and start again from the beginning of it. And I found this slightly annoying because some of them were a tad bit difficult and tad bit on the longish side, which wasn't a bad thing, but when you get knocked out, you have to go right back to the beginning of that section.
It sometimes stings.
I also found that on occasions there were times when the level had ended and you have to like flap your arms around just to get to the end of the sequence because it wouldn't register it until either something hit the ground, either the enemy or I don't know, but I was flailing my arms frantically to get to the next stage. The stages were pretty varied. The different action sequences were actually quite decent. 1 minute you could be fighting raptors, another you could be dodging motorbikes on a train, or even dodging laser beams within a vault. And I know I've stopped my exercise rating on here, but whilst I was playing it, I felt like I was getting a bit of a workout. Although I will warn you that this is one of those games I moved around without realising it and subsequently ended up hitting things with my hands. Ow! And it's not like I can lean against my sofa that I sometimes do just so I've got a reference point where I don't stray from, because there's bits where you have to duck down and the like. But it's all good, it's all part of the fun in the game. Oh, and if you're really crap at the game actually gives you a gold gun here and there.
To, make you better?
At least to help you advance a little bit further. And there are moments where you literally feel like you're Neo out of the Matrix. I know Kung Fu. Action Hero can be a very good mix of very fast-paced action, dodging, weaving, shooting, and Kung Fu punching. And on some levels, strategizing as well. And trust me, you'll be wanting to memorize these sections as you go along. As several times I was caught off guard, even though I've been to those levels before. Graphics and sound. Graphically, it's completely different to
Super Hot.
Where Super Hot had very limited colour palette, which in its own right was very stylish. Action Hero favours more of a realistic type feel about it. And this works for the game really well and kind of like gives it a different feel to it. Which honestly was one of my biggest fears about this game, was it was going to be too samey.
To which I could have just gone and played
Super Hot.
But luckily this wasn't the case, and it had some nice little touches, nice explosions, really cool watching the bullets going past your face, raptors coming at you, and as I've said, bikes flying over your head. And there's even some cleverly hidden bonus collectibles, I guess, that you can shoot during the gameplay, which are quite craftably hidden, or at least some of them are. Sound-wise, it's okay, nothing really special. The music kind of goes with the action and the feel of the game, which is kind of nice.
It's cough, voiced cough.
If you count the odd one-liner here and there. Action! To be honest with you, you're probably going to be too busy playing the game to notice a lot of the sounds in this game. And we've just about reached the score, but before we get there, do hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're still with me now. Even more if you're a regular to these parts. And now on to the score. You have no idea how long I have been waiting for a
Super hot.
sequel or contender to come along, and happily enough, Action Hero is the game I've been waiting for. It pretty well ticks all the boxes I needed of this, and to my mind does it pretty well. I'm guessing for someone that's really good at this sort of thing, you could probably breeze through it really quickly, but to be honest with you, I'm not even quite sure why you would do that. And just like
Super hot.
I can see myself playing this multiple times just for the fun of it. So score-wise, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Very few setbacks, very enjoyable to play.
Cheer!